Back everyone, welcome back. We just wrapped up with our first series here. Welcome back to the RSL Valve StarCraft League Season 5 Playoffs Day 4 co-stream. We just wrapped up with Hero versus Solar. Hero does advance on to the upper bracket final. Solar, he's knocked down to the lower brackets. And now we have one best of 5 remaining here to determine who will advance on to face off against Hero in that upper bracket. It's going to be a best of 5 between Lambo and Clem, a ZVT. An interesting European ZVT at that. Lambo is a rare sight nowadays. I say nowadays, period. Lambo doesn't really play in many online tournaments, so great to see Lambo competing in the RSL. He's made it very far so far. He took down Bunny in the previous round, but now he's up against the best Terran player in the world. Oh boy, here we go. We have our vetoes. Game 1 is going to be on 10,000 feet, followed by Missing You Today, Necropolis, Old Republic, and Rorschach. Now, I will say that typically Clem is favored, and he is. Like, Clem, he is favored to win the entire tournament even, or get top 2. Like, he's the best Terran in the world. But Lambo, when it comes to preparation-style tournaments, this is where Lambo can thrive. Let's go. Let's jump in.
Against Hero, let's find out.
As spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran for Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, going for the proxy hatchery, the German Zerg player for Shopify. It is Lambo. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we do open up with the proxy hatchery. Bearing in mind that I believe this should just be a way to delay the economy, to delay the opener. This is very common amongst Korean Zerg players, and great to see Lambo incorporated as well.
In all these matchups, I feel like it's been really cool to see.
Shin advanced from a GSL group, and I asked him to kind of explain the logic behind a lot of these proxy hatches to me, because I know there's an opportunity cost for the Terran, there's no really good option. They either have to pull SCVs and lose mining time to take down the hatchery, or they have to churn out some units from the barracks and have a delayed expansion. It feels like it's a math problem that's worded just right to mess with my brain, because it's also very it's also very expensive here for Lambo, right? I mean, this is a very early drone moving out on the map.
So when it comes to the style and the build itself, it will delay the economy for Clem. Likewise, depending on Clem's response, it'll be better or worse. Like if Clem pulls the boys, for example, that would be better for Lambo. Lambo wants Clem to be mining even less than he is, but Clem, he does go for a later scout, so he will not pull the boys. He sets up on the high ground with the CC, and so far Clem is going for a very nice, a very clean response here. Meanwhile, Lambo, it's going to be up to him to delay the economy for as long as possible. Queen is on the way. The goal for the Queen is to spread creep. As Lambo did go for the pull behind this, going for the spine rush, he commits.
And the spine crawler is also being made outside of vision of that bunker.
True.
Will the Reaper actually go deep enough to actually see this? No, the Lings will actually delay that for now. So
okay, doesn't see.
Spine crawler's still a mystery to Clem.
Clem likely going to find it. Okay, now sees the spines. Clem realizing the severity of the situation. This is not a macro hatch block with a transition coming out from Lambo. This is a committed timing attack as Lings are streaming across the map already. A ton of them are here on the front lines.
I can't do it. I can't take him seriously. It's like Clem, he realizes this is not a macro variation. It's a timing attack. It's an all-in, Pappy. True. Sorry, it's not an all-in. It's a timing attack in RSL.
Yeah, unfortunately, some of those Lings were actually attacking the bunker, so unable to go all in.
He's
with everything,
here.
But now
It's
we'll try
time.
to get right on top of this bunker on the high ground. There is one on the left-hand side, so we'll be able to retreat to that if Clem needs to. But for now, he is still controlling this high ground pretty decently. But the spine crawlers are going to be the thing that's going to make it very difficult over time to be able to keep this position.
Yeah, so far the spine coil within range of the depot. The first depot is going to go down. You could definitely argue that the second spine coil could be a little bit closer forward to get within range of the other depot as well. Gets into the bunker. The bunker is going to be denied. We have a backup bunker. The repairs keep the bunker alive. Oh my god.
To keep this alive with a repair. Honestly, it's been an ironclad defense so far by Clem. Lambo's
Clem's solid defense.
Zerglings, but
2 bunkers.
He's hardly even replacing the ones that he's losing on the front lines.
Yeah, we spoke about it. This second spine crawler finally pushes forward, but it was so late. It was just wasting DPS for so long.
Right on up, even though there wasn't really too much in it. Just keeping these things alive, like you said, is going to be very difficult for Lambo to actually bust on through. A couple of transfuses being used to keep these spines alive as well. The Lings will actually deny those SCVs the surface area, so we'll be able to kill one of these bunkers, but there is still another one on the right-hand side. A Queen dying in that exchange, as well as a creep tumor tries to get placed on the high ground to continue this aggression, but unable to keep that alive. A nice focus fire from Clem, but still Lambo trying to continue with this, bringing the spine crawlers to the top.
Yeah, he does bring the spine crawler up, but we have the master repair. The bunker will not go down. There are 2 spine crawlers, and SCVs are falling.
Spine crawlers, they are getting some damage done. Focus firing down.
The Marines
there on the back line, but the bunker, I mean, the repair is just too much.
The bunker just can't be killed. The bunker's immortal.
Well. Nice focus fire with the bunker there by Clem.
Finally.
Able to take that down. Morling's coming in. Is there a world where Lambo's actually able to keep moving forward with this? There's one more bunker left.
Every time he kills one, another one's just right there waiting.
Yeah,
it's like it feels like you're getting so much damage, and it feels like you're getting so much real estate at the top of this ramp. But there's just another bunker on the back line, then a tank spawning as well. The tank basically seals this. I feel like, how are you ever going to go up this ramp anymore with that tank sitting there? Going to be able to get some more stuff out as well. The Reaper finding some more information on the bottom right-hand side. Actually, the fact that that's even alive at this point is pretty crazy. We'll be able to send it right across the map, but there's going to be basically nothing to defend until that queen gets out.
Yeah, Lambo supply blocked. At this point, the aggression is failing for Lambo. He still has a position outside of the base, that is true, but he doesn't really have anything else behind this. He can't really threaten the expansion, not with the tank counts. He's going for it though.
It's like round 3 or 4, whatever it is now. Spine crawler moving up
God,
the ramp.
The spine.
The siege tank just absolutely decking it there. As the spine crawler gets taken out, Morling's flooding out into the main base, but the defense just a little bit too sturdy there for Clem, and Clem's going to take game number 1.
Yeah, I love the idea from Lambo. It looked like it had a couple moments there where he might have been able to bust on through, but the bunker repair just a little bit too strong. The defense from Clem really well-rounded, and it seemed like he just had the perfect answer to this actual build. Whether or not he's like faced against this exact style before, I'm not exactly sure, but it felt like he's just
I want to wait and see what Stay
in this
says.
particular defense.
I was pretty impressed with Lambo pushing up to the main base because I was kind of deterministic about
GG well played. I will say that when it comes to the execution of the build, there was potential there for Lambo. He was gaining some ground. As I said during the game itself, I do think that Lambo was very late to push his second spine crawler forward. I'm referring to the moment where we had the first spine crawler nibbling away at the depot, and we had the Master Link Queen getting ready to push up the ramp and eventually breaking through. But that second spine was a bit too far behind, wasn't adding any DPS, and eventually Lambo did push it forward, but it took like 30, 40, 50 seconds for that to happen. Like, it took a long time for that decision to be made, whereas we could have had extra DPS, killing the depot faster, killing the bunkers even faster as well. There's a lot that can be added with that extra spine crawl, I should say. So I do think the execution was a little bit lacking there from Lambo. Regardless, GG well played. Clem, he does hold well, and now we're getting to game number 2.
Got here in the first place. I mean, being able to beat Bunny as well with some of these crazy tactics. Cure, I think, is who he was able to knock out in the group stage to get here, I believe. So yeah, it's been a lot of early aggression from Lambo, so we'll see if he's got something else cooked up. I'm sure he does. Let's continue to be Lambo-leavers.
Yeah, Lambo, he's one of the smartest Zerg players around. I love to discuss the game with him, or even just hear his thoughts on the game if he's casting or if he's analyzing, because he has such an insightful perspective. And it's fun whenever you see a really smart player play the game, because sometimes their games just look completely alien to everything that you're expecting. Like that game number 1 with Clem, right? With the spine crawler rush there, at a very peculiar placed hatchery, the natural expansion there of Clem. But so far here in game number 2, looking to be much more standard fare.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing absolutely ridiculous coming out of Lambo in the first few minutes here. But something else that he did like to do in those earlier ZVT series was go for the 2-base lair and the Roach Ravager styles as well. Something that a lot of Zergs have been doing lately, and Lambo found great success from that against the other Terrans of the tournament. So I would not be surprised if he tries to bring some of that out. And he was also very close to beating Clem in his series. I believe it was on this map.
Obviously, I do agree with States. We've been very cool about it ourselves, where Lambo, he's a very analytical analyst, and I do appreciate it whenever they do have him like on an analyst test for a big event. Casting is decent as well, depending on what he's casting. Like, throw Lambo in a ZVZ or Z matchup, like, he's solid. It's a bit of a shame that we don't really have the equivalent of that for Terran and Protoss. I think it would be nice if that was something that was out there. Unfortunately, isn't quite the case. But yeah, it's something that we always do value whenever he's a part of a broadcast. For EWC specifically last year, it was always great to have Lambo on the casting couch, or on the analyst desk, if you will. Always.
Cure, who had a top 4 finish at the GSL, able to take down Bonnie in round 1 of the RSL playoffs. He's running the gauntlet right now in ZBT, because now he's got to go up against Clem here, already down 0-1 in this best of 5 series. Let's see what he's able to do. I like that this is shaping up for more of a macro game between these two because I really want to see what Lambo's going to try and get done.
Reaper's trying to find whatever it can. Actually does
gets
get
a drone.
as they do get a little bit jumbled up there at the bottom of the mineral line. So a nice little catch there for Clem.
Yeah, very nice pick. I've had a Clem behind this going for a third CC before Starport. Economic build out of our Terran player. And welcome once again to Missing You Today. Welcome to the... Ooh, even snipes the tumor and gets away. But welcome to Missing You Today. This is a very large map. Very large map. Long rushes and spike ground. Defendable bases. The bases are a little bit more spread out. Similar to White Rabbit in that respect. But we often see longer games. But the question becomes, what does Lambo bring to the table? Because we don't really expect Lambo to play macro, right? Last game we went for an all-in. That's the kind of thing we expect. All-ins, timing attacks, 2-base all-ins, 3-base all-ins, cheeky builds, early tech. That's what we expect out of Lambo. But we'll see. We'll see if he even tries to maybe be greedy, and that's an approach you can take as well. Where in a standard game you do struggle against Clem, but what if you can cut some corners? What if you can take the gold base, for example? Right? There are 2 gold bases on Missing You Today, so that can also factor in as well. So we'll see. I'm sure Lambo's dissected the map.
There is no wall in just yet, but 3 more drones getting started.
Reaper's still trying to find whatever it can, but the queens are out in number, so we'll be able to keep this away.
So the timing attack is Nolan Light Analyst. That's true.
What they can do to again clear up some of this creep and potentially go for a deep dive onto some of the drones, as the Cloak Banshee follow-up will be joining that very soon as well. I feel like if you do go for the Cloak, you're generally trying to be, a little bit more aggressive with it, of course, since you're investing so much into that extra tech. So we'll see how aggressive exactly he wants to go with this. Nice little Evo block on the drones there, so won't lose anything on that part. So yeah, we'll see if we can get more from Clem in just a little bit here.
Yeah, Lambo pretty quick with the Evolution Chamber drop right there. Able to prevent the Hellions and the Reaper from diving on that mineral line as Clem is going to pivot down.
Yeah, behind this going 3CC Banshee in towards 3-1-1. Standard follow-up here by Clem. It is going to be an earlier lair at a Lambo. I believe that is lair before Evo Chambers.
3 past CCs coming in by Clem. Partly just because Lambo, after losing that very first drone...
Also, obviously, I'd like to believe that we bring more analysts to these casters here when it comes to RSL broadcasts.
Relying on the positioning of his queens to deflect this harassment from Clem.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job of that as well. I mean, he's got these 2 queens on the left-hand side. That one little ramp right there is very easy to block with just a few of them, and then you got the 3 on the right-hand side as well. So very nice management from Lambo overall on this queen defense of the Hellions. Of course, the Banshees should be...
What I'm most curious by is the tech of Lambo. I'm curious to see if he does go into Hydrogen, into Spire, or into Fast Infestation Pits with his lair soon to be finishing. Double Bailey Nest.
For the Hellions to try and do dive if they find the opportunity.
Hopefully Lambo does know this.
Lair not just done. Okay, finally now finishing in. So Overseer will be able to morph in. I think this means that Lambo should be able to save this space despite the 2 Banshees, but it will be pretty close. This is actually going to be a canceled match. There's some more room to micro, and Clem going to try and
the queen's distracted. The base is going to go down.
Of attention here on Lambo. Try and get some damage to the Hellions and the Reapers.
He gets it.
Hatch gets canceled. That's a painful loss here for Lambo.
He really waited a long time to get that cancel as well, so it was really kind of one of the last-second things. So lots of wasted time right there on that 4th base. As Clem...
So that is a really brutal start here for Lambo as Hellions. They poke in, they get a couple of drone kills, but the scary thing here is that because Lambo has a late 4th base, he has less creep, he has less production, he has less economy. This first 7-minute push from Clem, which moves out with Stim 1-1 with his bio army and with factory support, is going to hit very hard at that 4th base. The goal for Clem should be to knock down the 4th or the 5th base and to bring it down, and he'll be that much more confident in doing so because of how delayed the expansion already is. Clem has momentum.
And Lambo, double evolution chamber upgrades now coming in. Melee and Carapace. We have a Hydralisk Den also being thrown down here by the Zerg.
We have our tech of choice.
Hydra Baneling style coming in from Lambo, and oftentimes when you see this played in the GSL, it's more of a defensive setup that the Zerg is going for. The Hydralisks are allowing the Zerg player to actually take down everything that's going to be the Metavacs. It prevents some of this more offensive dropship play that we sometimes see Terran players try and execute here in the mid game. But I wonder with the +1 melee and the +1 Carapace, how much of this is just going to be Ling Baneling and how much of it is going to be actually setting up for potentially a Hive transition into Ultras.
Widowmine almost getting the juiciest shot of all time.
It's interesting that State brings that up. Obviously, whenever you see Ultra Tech, it's typically off of Roach-based play. Going Ling Bane Hydra Ultra is a little bit less standard. This can lead more kind of more naturally into Hive Tech like Vipers and even into Lurker Tech. I'm not saying that Ultras are not feasible here, but we're spending a lot of gas on Hydras, so any kind of Hive Tech setup is going to be much later.
But just wants to clear out as much creep as possible to set up an eventual further attack. It's also interesting how mine heavy he's gone. Of course, he's seen the very Ling Bane heavy style. It's not going to be roaches or anything like that, so he's going to be going for that. Nice little focus fire there as well by Clem on a couple of those.
And here comes Clem push. Clem switch.
Does start to move on the left-hand side.
With Overlord speed finishing up here for Lambo, I wonder if he might try and get aggressive after repelling one of these attacks. We could have Banelings running into the third base. We could have drops eventually here in the main base with the natural expansion, but instead the focus for now is going to be Clem trying to attack down into this fourth expansion. Half the army here for Clem is occupying the ramp. The rest is on the low ground right now. Some well-positioned.
Clem does he react in time? Oh, he does.
Okay, Clem is going to see the Banelings here running into the third base.
Yeah, nice reaction. If he was even just a second too slow on that would have been huge. But actually, the
oh my God, he doesn't pay attention
as the Banelings connect with the Marines extremely well. Lambo able to take a great fight right there. A bit of an uncharacteristic mistake from Clem. Normally, his multitasking is really some of the best in the business. You can see he's really frustrated with that, shaking his head in the webcam as well. As he's someone that's usually used to just being able to micro on both fronts very easily. So
Clem not paying attention. He wasn't paying attention. He was caught with his pants down, and with that, Lambo does take a better fight. Emphasizing what Gemini just said, it was a surprisingly good fight for Lambo, and with that, Clem, he's losing a lot of momentum. Lambo is gaining map control, and one bad fight can cost you the game. Because that bad fight, that means that Lambo saves the fourth base. He shuts down this drop as well. Creep is maintained, pressure is alleviated, and now Lambo can max. Now he can max out, whereas otherwise he would not have been able to. So that was a huge win for Lambo.
Down instead here for surround. Not everything is able to get picked up there by the medevacs. A couple of losses.
And if Lambo wins this game, unironically, a little bit comes down to that push, comes down to that fight. Like Clem having to back off after that moment is huge.
From Lambo will be able to dislodge that position, but like you said, not too much losses overall from Clem, so it's not the worst thing in the world, just loses the position on the map. But this is a great move here from Lambo overall. I feel like he's really gotten some nice tempo in this game compared to the early game. But even, I mean, actually, I guess even with the early game, I feel like he did kind of defend the Hellions pretty well, the Banshees, besides
again, now Lambo's able to spread creep, engulf the map. He's going for the gold expansion top right. You can see how everything very quickly is snowballing out of control in favor of Lambo.
It's definitely the best we've seen him in either of the two series that he's played against Clem this RSL. So yeah, I'm very liking this position right now for Lambo.
Lambo's playing an excellent defensive macro game right now as the hive is about halfway done. Lambo expanding all the way to the top right corner of the map.
Oh, is he looking?
Test the waters here in front of the fourth base of Clem, forcing another liftoff. This planetary not yet morphed in yet.
Yeah, fourth base is going to be delayed. Lambo coming in from behind. He's collapsing in the army.
There aren't enough Liberators to actually usher Lambo away. And Lambo attacking into the third base at the same time. Was wondering for a moment if you might try and sandwich that Terran army, but instead, Lambo, thinking he's already got the damage that he needs done, is going to back up for now.
He backs off due to the mine shots. Like, there was some brutal mine connections there for Clem. Clem, he defends well.
Yeah, that position on the right-hand side at that third base, that
Gemini noticed.
Barracks, all of the Lings and Banes got funneled into that tiny little choke point next to the barracks and the wall, and it really made it difficult for Lambo to actually continue that flank. If he was able to actually get around that, I think he actually had some leeway. Yeah, like right there is when he got really bottlenecked.
Yeah,
so
map will notice as well.
It's a bit unfortunate there for Lambo. He did lose quite a lot of supply in that engagement, but he's still set up nicely for the late game anyway. He's got tons of bases. He's got his economy fully set up. He's got infestors out on the map right now as well, so it's not like he just lost the game with that move or anything.
This is better recovery from Gemini, because Stay was insinuating that Lambo backed off because he chose to. Like, Gemini is emphasizing that he was forced to.
Very proficient in this late game
nice
situation.
Ooh.
The fungal is huge. Catches a good number of Marines and Marauders. Is Clem going for, I think this is a Widow Mine drop coming through. Yeah, with the armory and perhaps even Drilling Claws done. Clem trying to be a nuisance on Lambo's side of the map, trying to slow down
another
the economic
fungal. Oh my god.
of Lambo.
The fungals keep connecting.
And Lambo, for now, it seems like he is content just to play this Hydraling, Baneling style, just a little bit better upgraded. You know, he's got a lunge upgrade now. Adrenal's about to finish. +3 Carapace and +2 melee attack are underway.
Now, this is what we should talk about the map itself. We spoke earlier how this is a very large map, and it does often favor and does lean towards longer games, and we're getting into a max out kind of situation for the first time tonight. But something important about these bases are how spread out they are. They're much more spread out. I will say that the entrances are very narrow, so being able to turtle up on this map is easier. If you remember, this was one of our big criticisms of Missing You today, was how easy it is to turtle up on 5 bases. But for whoever doesn't have, for whoever isn't turtling, there are 2 gold bases. So Lemmy has 2 gold expansions available to him, so he will have a boosted economy to make up for the fact that Clem is hyper turtling up.
Any economic damage here, so really nice control. It really feels like Lambo's in a flow state right now, just defending everything with ease. He's got great control all over the map, prepared for everything. The Liberator also able to get denied by these couple of Spore Crawlers. That won't get too much damage.
I saw it once again.
On some of these Marines,
very nice.
Able to connect with the Banelings yet again. The trades for Lambo continue to be very good.
Yeah, can we get a shot actually at the units lost tab? Because it feels like Lambo's played such an efficient
Ooh,
game.
didn't get
yeah, look at that.
Wow.
More cost efficient than Terran heading into the 13-minute mark. You rarely see this in modern ZVT. Usually it's Zerg with a large economy just kind of throwing meat into the grinder.
Important push every Clem at the same time. Lambo does counterattack.
Right now is Lambo once more going to be attacking into this 4th base. Army nowhere to be found here for Clem. Just some Ghosts and Liberators here on the high ground. That's going to mean that Lambo will be taking down this command center. Lambo does lose 1 hatchery on his side of the map, but he is really every other base. You know,
I mean, Clem is going for the 2nd gold, and he might get both. He might get both gold bases.
Going up into the top right corner. If this hatchery falls, it might become an issue here for Zerg, but there are still so many minerals left to saturate.
Yeah, losing both gold bases a bit unfortunate here for Lambo. So, yeah, a bit of a bite back there for Clem. Able to continue to stay in this game. He's doing his best, of course. As we said, Clem is someone that is so proficient in these late game situations. He's
Here comes the 5th base for Clem. Now he can max. Now he can sustain his max army, I should say.
Really high. So Clem definitely still fighting back. He's absolutely got a large army right now, and
Clem, he's gaining ground.
Positions. Lambo has been doing well overall, but he's never actually gotten to a point where it's just like totally over for Clem by any means. So Clem now with a big death push.
And nice free split. He's on creep though. We're coming with
around on this army. Lings and Banelings
the
flooding in from all sides right now. Can the
lands.
Infestors get good fungals? None of them connect just yet, but it doesn't seem to matter. The Lings and Banelings are streaming in. Clem is going to stutter step back into the expansion actually of Lambo and try and lift everything up. The Ghosts for now are able to survive. No fungal connected with the Medivacs, but man, what a fight taken by Lambo. And Clem right now, this army is basically stranded here in the main base.
And again, Clem, he was basically all in with that. That was everything he had. He was completely committed. He did take down 2 gold bases. He takes down one of the Baneling nests as well. But Lambo now switching into Corruptors, into anti-air.
But yeah, it's going to be so difficult to get everything out right now. 10 Corruptors about to finish up as well. I feel like all these Medivacs and all those units are doomed to die. So now it's up to Clem to try and find anything else on the map as he boosts another Medivac to the left-hand side.
God,
yeah, there goes
lose
all those
everything.
Medivacs. That's so much supply and so many units. Some Ghosts as well in there. That's going to be really painful to lose.
I mean, that was just the perfect trade for Lambo as Clem falls down below 160 supply right now. Clem on his side of the map, he has been able to secure another expansion. He's also retaken the expansion at the 9 o'clock position. And he's gotten some good jabs in too. Kills the drones down and some overlords here in the bottom left corner. The problem is that Lambo, he is so big economically that losing those gold bases, even losing the drones down the bottom left, it's not causing as much of a disruption as you would typically see in a ZVT. Instead, Lambo, he is still maxed. He even has, what, a 3,000 or 4,000 resource bank? And he's locking up for another attack here.
Oh. Big Widowmine shot right there on some of those Zerglings, but the rest of the army is still extremely strong right now. The Corruptor is also going to be helping out versus this large...
Despite that, Lambo should have enough. He's getting a couple of the Ghosts. There's 3 Ghosts down to 2. 2 Ghosts left. They do get away.
A lot of the bio on the reinforcement on the right-hand
Does break
side
the
was able to
planetary.
clean up some of those units, but the PF falls down as well. So Clem will be able to defend, but not without taking some heavy losses.
Now we have the Ultra Switch.
It was a very expensive trade for Lambo, though. That was a lot of Banelings that went down. The Corruptors, some of them fell, some of them were badly injured right now, and you can really see the discrepancy in the units lost tab. The thing is, the income advantage, as Mapu wisely pointing out, heavily into Lambo's favor. The question is, who can sustain these losses better? Lambo might be trading inefficiently on Clem's side of the map, but I think think it is worth it as long as he's able to keep the expansions of Terran under control. Because Clem has never had that moment where he's able to throw down a ton of macro command centers. Actually, looking at the minimap, it is the main orbital that is flying down to the 9 o'clock position. Clem really not in the best of ways.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult if a couple more of these bases do get sniped off by the banelings. Of course, you need to be a little careful as Lambo. You don't want to be overzealous and just kind of lose
catching out 1, 2, 3 liberators.
Some corruptors, again, finding...
Lambo moves in, Clem's out of position.
Any defenses, and so this base is once again going to get dislodged. The reinforcements not quite here in time, and there's still a large army on the right-hand side. Thankfully, that Widowmine does see that. So, I almost called him Maru. Clem is able to respond knowing that there's nothing...
Oh, these Terrans look the same. Ah, no.
Left-hand side and get that base going because he really needs that economy.
The game is quieting down just a little bit here as Lambo's mustering more forces, 8 more corruptors in production.
So something we should emphasize, of course, is that Clem has done a great job at denying some bases. So Lambo doesn't have the biggest bank that he otherwise should have because he kept losing the gold expansion. I want to say it went down like, what, 3 different times? So this base has been falling and it has been slowing Lambo down. But at the same time, he's still now maxed out with a superior army and he's still looking for that fungal.
Medevacs and Liberators, that can be huge here for Lambo.
These Widow Mines are still being very difficult.
Oh, he lands it! Oh my god.
Some of those bio units will be able to keep, tag up those, so that way the Banelings can actually get the connections there. Very nicely done. The Ultras trying to get some damage, but then a couple snipes also able to deal with that. So the trades back and forth, but
he lands
I feel
it again.
like Lambo is still taking the initiative here.
Gets a ghost.
Some infestors are starting to fall as well, which is a bit unfortunate, and now the bio is pretty strong on the left-hand side, so
we do break the base.
Will get killed off, but a lot of the units as well for Lambo.
But it's the same story as the 9 o'clock expansion getting taken out.
Once again, he loses the base.
Trades, they're expensive here for Lambo. They're not cost-efficient trades, but his economy is so much bigger that he's basically accepting the losses. He's muscling over this, and Clem senses this. He doesn't have a command center. He's actually lifting the natural expansion now towards 12 o'clock. Because there's no other easy way to populate those mineral lines. So Clem feeling the pressure right now is going to be charging in.
Oh, he drags the mine.
Lambo looking for this round. A lot
yeah,
of
drags the mine in.
GG called. Lambo tying up the series 1-1.
Oh my god, the Lambo Leavers. We are here. He is alive in this series. It's the first time he's taken a map off of Clem in this tournament so far in both of the series that they've played.
GG, well played. If you recall, like, I'll have to repeat what I said earlier in the game. We called it when it happened. I was like, yo, if Lambo wins this game, it's because of this fight. We mentioned it, and again, that's why Clem also reacted the way that he did as well, was when Clem wasn't looking. When he wasn't looking, he wasn't paying attention. He was fixated and distracted by a Ling run by at his, a Baneling run by at his third base. As that was happening, bam, Lambo pounced. Lambo caught the 2 medevacs full of Marines, and with that happening, that meant that Lambo could secure his 4th base, get his 5th base, spread creep, gain map control, build up his upgrades, and slow the game down. And Clem lost so much momentum when that happened, and that was the moment where Lambo took a lead, and he ran with it from there. Made sure he didn't make any missteps or mistakes afterwards. Because the map is so large, Clem, who was just stuck at home, he was forced to turtle, and because, and as we mentioned when it comes to this map specifically, because these bases are so spread out on Missing You today, it is difficult as the defending player to rotate between them. So Clem could not defend his bases. He was still losing planetaries despite being forced to turtle up. The turtle failed as he just kept losing bases. Kept losing bases, kept losing expansions. GG, well played. With that, we have a back and forth series, and we'll see where our players do take us this time. As it looks like we're going for a short break. Going to be going for a short break. When we come back, we'll have our next game. We'll have our next matchup. Or we'll have game 3. See you soon. See you soon after the break. Hope. Back everyone, welcome back. Ooh, hope you enjoyed that lovely break. We've returned here with the RSL Rival StarCraft League Season 5 Playoffs Day 4 co-stream. We are mid-series here between Clem and Lambo. We're currently tied up 1-1, and I'm curious to see how the rest of the series progresses. Great to see Lambo fighting back against Clem, but I would say that a larger map like Missing today is Zerg favored because of its features, because of its size, because of the distance between all the bases that is unique to that map. So we should be seeing something different out of Lambo moving forward in the series. Remember, very often, especially when it comes to Zerg players, their build, their style does depend on the map itself. As we are loading into Necropolis, let's go. And what I should really say is for all players, really. Let's go.
Lambo's the real deal. He's spawning in the top left is the red Zerg. Clem down in the bottom right is the blue Terran. Yeah, you never know what kind of game you're going to be getting from Lambo. I mean, me being a Protoss player, most of the games that I see from Lambo, most of the replays that I study in general are going to be Protoss games. So I'm mostly familiar with Lambo's EVP, which is very spellcaster heavy if he's trying to play for a late game. I'm thinking back again to a game that I saw between him and Classic recently where it was like, you ever get those dreams where just nothing quite seems normal, but you can't tell that you're asleep? I thought that I might have been asleep watching this game because Classic would pan to the center of the map, and there would be like 30 evolution chambers just haphazardly placed, and I was struggling to understand what was going on. It was for like mass Vipers to be able to consume.
Was he playing against Hearst? That was his most recent video, was going mass Viper.
Oh my god, was Lambo farming Classic for content? Maybe. I mean, it was mass Viper. There are evolution chambers anyway, everywhere, but anyway, the point that I'm making is that Lambo is really capable of anything. He's got some very good late game play, very spellcaster focused.
Okay, so we do have a delayed gas here from Lambo. So typically with a late gas, guys, this means either fast Lair or fast Roach Warren. On a map like Necropolis, where you do have a much more secure 2 and then 3 base setup, there is a chance that this could be 2 base Muta, 2 base Lair into a fast Spire. But we'll see. For now, we're looking to see if it is going to be that faster Roach Warren or Lair, then that can unlock the potential of 2 base Muta or even 2 base Hydra, which is also a build that we have been seeing as of late, or even 2 base Roach into a Roach all-in. So Lambo, he does unlock all these different tech paths. This build that Lambo is going for has been very common amongst the Korean Rogue players, so Rogue, Shin, Solar. If you've been watching them play, you would have seen gasless openers be quite prevalent throughout the course of their matches this year.
Still going well as well, so Lambo is bringing out all the stops here so far in this series, as he does try to get that 3rd base, so it's not going to be any super fast early Lair stuff coming out from him this game, at least. It's going to be some more of that 3-hatch goodness, some good old macro play.
And I like the way the Lambo did this too. He sent out 2 drones, one to the linear expansion on the north side and one towards the triangle expansion towards the center, knowing that
this 3CC before for Clem, 3CC before Starport.
So Lambo just securing that 3rd hatchery nice and early here, preventing the Reaper from any more delays.
Am I crazy? Was that before factory? Is this 3CC 211? It is. Oh, there you go.
We'll see what his follow-up is.
I thought I was seeing things. I was like, wait, is this 3CC before factory? It's like, oh, it is. So it's going to be 3CC 211. This is going to be hitting a stim timing at around 6 minutes. So it's going to be a later stim timing out of Clem, but I mean, it will hit quite hard nonetheless. And if Lambo is being too greedy, for example, if he is in fact going to base Muta, then he will be punished for it, or he can be punished for it.
He does try to switch it up just a little bit here in this 3rd game right now, as the Reaper still does try to get some extra scouting information.
That's what the Roach Warren.
Know exactly what's going on. If he can get a drone, that would be nice.
As you mentioned, gasless means either fast Lair or fast Roach Warren. It is going to be the Roach Warren.
Clem coming out with an early little advantage with that drone micro there.
Clem Reapers is built different. It feels like most TvZ games at the top level, you don't even want to... I mean, as casters, we know this. You don't even really want to talk about the Reaper trying to get damage done, because it basically never culminates in anything. But with Clem, there is always a very real possibility of a drone getting sniped. It just seems like if this was like a campaign, you would have like the Clem Reaper, which has like a 20% higher rate of fire or something like that. You know, like his Reapers just get more done. I don't know how he does it, but Clem consistently able to pick off drones. It's happened multiple times in this series already.
I feel like this early game TvZ interaction is just like caster purgatory for me. It's just like I'm just stuck here casting the same Reaper versus drones and Lings over and over and over again. Nothing ever happens, and then one Reaper finally kills the drone. I'm like, oh my god, I'm free! Yes, I'm done with this purgatory. Get me out of here.
All right, Roach is now coming on the field here for Lambo. The usual transition from Roaches, and I know I might be getting ahead of myself here, is to play the Roach in the mid game with fast +1 Carapace and then kind of pivot into fast Ultralisk. It can be on a 3-base economy.
It's very common. It's very common to go Roach into Ultra. I don't think it's a bad thing that State brings it up now, just because we see the Lair in a second Evo chamber. If we didn't see the second Evo chamber, there's a high chance that this actually could be an all-in. But the second chamber tells us that Lambo is going for another upgrade, going for a later timing attack, and he's building up into a longer game. So I do think that this would be the time to talk about the potential Ultras.
Setting up this bio transition, of course, off of the third command center, getting the stim finished up, getting the extra 2 medevacs coming on out, so he will be finding his way onto the map in just a little bit.
So once the layer is done, we're looking for an infestation pits. At the same time, remember what we said earlier, it's a 3CC 2-on-1. Clem, he's now moving out with his initial double drop.
upgrades as you would expect, as he does find just an Overlord on the map. We'll take that for free.
As I mentioned, typically gets across about 6 minutes. Meanwhile, there's infestation bit that tells us it is going to be Hive and it's going to be initially Infestors, then into Ultra Tech.
Timing window. Usually it's Terran that has this advantage, and we are going to have the infestation pit thrown down here from Lambo. So taking up in a Hive, building up towards Ultralisks is a real possibility here for Zerg. Can Lambo weather the storm?
I would hedge it a little bit less, and I'd say that with a little bit more certainty that there's a higher chance it is going to be Ultras, but typically Infestor first just to be safe. Meanwhile, double jump into the main. Ooh, Clem does get in.
Right now, so he has a couple more Overlords that he could lose if he wanted to. Oh, lucky him. Dropping two more Overlords here, but
dude,
no supply
Clem's probably
block.
like, God, he's so supply blocked right now. Dude, I'm doing so good. And Lambo's just like sitting here at 190 possible supply or whatever.
Oh, there's the Hive. Okay, 6-minute Hive coming in here from Lambo. So it seems like we will be having the Ultralisk transition coming through. Right now, just 64 drones. A couple more are in production here for Lambo, but I wouldn't be surprised if
So this is what we need to talk about, like the emphasis or the kind of like big power spike that's coming. Rushing into Ultras like this in such a fashion, it can be devastating because the Terran player will not have Ghost ready. Ghost Liberators will not be ready in time for this. You have to rely on Marauders early on. And Clem, I think he may have just seen the Hive morphing in, which would have been a huge scout. You can see the production tab, Marauder production has begun. So Clem, he needs Marauders as quickly as possible to get ready for the eventual Ultras. Clem cannot stop Lambo from getting there. Ultra Tech is coming.
Macro this one could be going. Doesn't want to try to end it super early on 3 bases or anything like that. We'll be going to that longer late game.
And Clem actually starting a reactor in the tech lab right now.
So shout out to Mapu for confirming.
If he knows exactly where Lambo is at right now in terms of development, because I feel like, okay, we do have one more barrack switching into
yeah, so it looked like State might have missed it, but shout out to Mapu because he knew to confirm. But Clem did see the Hive, so Clem knows.
It has started, and so much of really withstanding the first storm of this as the Terran player is having a healthy Marauder count. Otherwise, the Ultralisks with their Fast +2 Carapace upgrade, with the Ultralisk armor itself getting finished in just a little bit, they can just pulverize positions that rely on Marines for their DPS.
I don't know if you notice, there's a funny thing that happens every now and then in RSL is Mapu, he just showed Clem's vision for a second time in the main base because he wants the caster to understand that Clem knows.
This right-hand side base, as the Marines in the main actually able to deal a decent amount of damage. There weren't enough Roaches actually left behind to deal with that.
Mapu, he's like, guys, look, por favor.
Left side, and we even have Microbial Shroud getting researched here from Lambo, so we'll be using that in combination with the Ultralisk to try and get some really heavy engagements that can just be really bursty and just force the Terran to relocate.
Ultralisk Cavern is done. 2 Ultras get started here for Lambo. There hasn't been a big head-to-head engagement between these two just yet.
Behind this, we have Microbial Shroud on the way. That is, of course, to support the Ultras.
Timing is Lambo fishing a little bit right now with the Infestor, trying to catch a fungal on these 2 straight.
And Clem shouldn't find a way in, but he's at least a 9 creep, right? He's a 9 creep, he's getting map control. This will give him time to react and respond to the Ultras.
For Lambo, they're about halfway done. One of them will finish at this 12 o'clock base.
Clem is being very patient with this. He doesn't want to go in overzealously. He doesn't want to just kind of dive in and then just get fungled. So he's being very careful, just trying to bait Lambo out, trying to force him into his tank line and get a nice position here. We'll be able to get one of those Ultras pretty low before the engagement happens. A fungal did get chained off right there. Not sure how much it hit, but it did get a decent amount there. But still, that tank line and Widowmine line is still so large. It's going to be very difficult for Lambo to actually
nice catch from Lambo. He does catch reinforcements.
Will get killed off.
At the same time, Fungals are landing once again.
Will get caught by the fungal, but again, can
nice Microbial Shroud.
He's going to use that.
Tanks are going down.
Try and do that. The damage is much less, and another
huge fungal. Oh my god!
That bio
the Fungals keep landing. Lambo holds. Clem's in trouble.
There's just so much left standing there for Lambo at the 12 o'clock position. He's able to power through with pure Roaches and Infestors. The +2 Carapace really paying dividends right now for a Lambo versus just the +1 infantry weapons of Clem. But Clem has stabilized on his side of the map. He secured a 4th base. He's building additional command centers now. The 5th base has gotten started. Lambo, it feels like there should be a moment soon with more Ultras streaming onto the map where Lambo can actually burst onto Clem's side of the board and try and get some damage done. But Clem's actually done such a good job over the past few minutes of just levying pressure onto the Zerg that Lambo, in a moment that
Yeah,
should
Clem,
be
he's done a great
his,
job
is
at just
really
maintaining map
struggling to
control,
go on.
right? He's just denied all the creep. He's keeping Lambo on the bases. A base goes down. He kills the fourth? Oh my god, that should not have happened.
So it's been very difficult to get these engagements. But again, the fungals continue to be so good from Lambo, making it as difficult as
Like,
possible.
the fungals are good, the engagements are good for Lambo, but if he can't maintain these bases, Lambo can't max. Like, Lambo's broke. Ultras are expensive.
It seems like Clem still is in a nice position, but he's got to be careful because this bio is still very low.
Yeah, the bio is low, but unless there's a fungal that gets landed, there isn't really a lot of kill potential here for Lambo because there's nothing that can.
The drop stages continue. Clem is moving back in. He dives into the main.
So much mobility right now. Even though in a head-on engagement he loses to
And
Lambo,
Lambo's had enough.
He's able basically to dance around the army of the
Ooh, the fungal! Oh my god, the chain fungals!
Snipes the hive. Fungal
Oh
gonna
my
connect with his
God.
Marauders, picks off most of the bio, but that is a worthwhile.
Gets a high NG Infestor.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Good sides from both there, as of course the Ultralists will go
Ultras
on
are
to
exposed.
this planetary fortress, but god, that is so many reinforcements ready to meet
And
them,
Clem
so
takes the lead.
nothing able to
After
get done there.
a very intense mid game here, honestly, Lambo was taking better fights. Lambo, he was landing these fungals, he was defending well, taking better fights. He got into Ultra Tech. Lambo had momentum for the first part of this game, and then he's been losing it. Been losing bases, losing creep, and now Lambo's all in. Lambo's all in.
Attack right now. Spawning blast to get restarted. Lambo needs to get damage
Sorry, it's RSL.
done.
I should say Lambo. He's going for a timing attack.
Planetary fortress here on the front lines.
Kappa.
Lings cleaning up SCVs there. You know, Clem, he's so cautious. Oh no, Widowmine actually connect there onto an Infestor, and the command center here is forming a bit of a bottleneck. The Ultra's trying to
There's the
chase
fungal.
through.
He's gonna keep going.
It's a really
He's
tough
gonna
spot
push
to
in.
actually squeeze through with all
Send
these
it.
large Zerg units.
Oh my God.
Shroud is going to be dropped to give a little bit more sustain here to the Zerg army.
Looks
as
like
Clem
he
continues to
barely
repair
gets a
the
planetary.
planetary fortress. More units coming in to
Just
reinforce.
barely.
The planetary will fall, but Lambo's army is so badly bruised.
Yeah, he's only got 40 army supply right now. He can't even remake anything with the
Yeah,
spawning
Lambo, that's it.
gliders.
That's all he had. He gets the base, but it's not enough. It's not good enough here. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and Clem takes the lead in the series.
Clem looking so good in that last game versus Lambo. Really just abusing the lack of mobility with the Ultralist composition. I mean, there was never really an answer to the Medivacs. It feels like very few of them actually got sniped over the course of the game because it's either Fungal or Queens. There's no other options for Zerg to actually take them out. And so Clem, just continuously dancing around the Zerg army, was able to levy so much pressure, especially that main base, taking down the Hive, constantly having drop harassment near the 12 o'clock base.
So GG well played. I would push back against what State is saying here. He's like, oh, the mobility, like the counterattacks is dropping into the main base. Before all of that, there was, I would say, the big deciding factor which allowed for Clem to gain momentum. We spoke about it at the time, if you recall. We tried to emphasize it, was when Lambo lost the fourth base. Lambo, he had the army to defend, by the way. He had the army to defend. He was landing fungals. He was catching reinforcements. Like Lambo, he was taking better fights compared to Clem. But there was a moment where Clem, he was pushing on the right-hand side. He was distracting, and then he came in with reinforcements and he hit the fourth base of Lambo. And Lambo, he had ultras, he had them in between the bases, but they were late to react, late to respond. And once that fourth base went down, that's when the ball started rolling. If you remember, that was before the drop into the main. That was before Clem sniped the Hive. And that was a surprising moment. If you remember, we were like, yo, he just killed the fourth base. Like Lambo, he can't afford that. Like Lambo can't afford those kind of losses. He can't afford those kind of, he can't afford to not have an economy. And that's where Clem snowballed out of control. But for sure, like Clem was being very active and very aggressive, to a fault at times, where again Lambo was out trading him, but Lambo also had no map presence. GG well played. Let's jump in.
Clem leading this best of 5 series 2-1 over Lambo as he spawns in the bottom left here on Old Republic. Lambo up in the top right.
And so now I wonder if Lambo's going to kind of go back to some of the other stuff that he's been doing a little bit more so in the tournament with some early shenanigans. And with this drone finding its way across the map, seems like that might be the case. As we're going to be going for yet another proxy hatchery, which is interesting because the proxy hatchery earlier on in the series did not really find too much success.
So it's important to, and I'm sure Gemini and State are going to get into it as well. It's important to bear in mind that there are different variations of proxy hatchery. If you remember, initially we thought it was going to be a macro proxy hatch, but then Lambo went for the spine rush earlier in the series. Here, I would imagine this is a fake out. I say fake out. This is, I would imagine, designed to force a certain distinct reaction out of Clem to delay the economy. We'll see. We'll see if he does go for a hatch back at home or a spawning pool.
What we saw before, if you missed game number 1 between Lambo and Clem, was a very similar setup here in the early game.
Ooh, 2-max Reaper out of Clem.
I want to say a little bit later than this moment right now. Maybe
Clem going 2-rank Reaper means he can't counterattack. Meanwhile, that's going to be an earlier gas at Lambo this time. Remember game 1, Lambo didn't go for any gases. He went for a spine rush as a result. Here, he does get an early gas. So there's a difference.
As we saw in the GSL a couple of times, especially by Shin, you can go for a hatchery like this one and just try to disrupt the economy of the Terran. You know, I'm very foggy on the math in terms of how this actually pays off for Zerg, but it seems like that's what Lambo is going for. He's trying to slow down Clem while expanding on his own side.
I do kind of like this too, because since he went for the really aggressive version, the all-in version, the first game, this could possibly force an overreaction from Clem when he does get the
well, I mean, Clem's blindly going 2-rank Reaper, so he's going to blindly be pushing across the map anyway. I mean, potentially. We'll see if he stays home.
So we'll see this now. I really wonder how this would interact going
he ignores it.
The all-in
I do really like this for Clem. He ignores the hatchery, goes across the map.
Potential and stuff like that. But regardless, it's not going to be the all-in version, so we'll see if this maybe forces an overreaction or not. But since Clem sees that there's no spine crawlers being morphed...
Ooh, Lambo stays in gas. That's the most important part here. Lambo is going for Link Speed, and he stays in gas, which means he might go for a Bane Bust or a Roach Rush or Fast Lair.
A scout with the follow-up is going to be here from Lambo. Actually sees
Clem confirms.
Gas being mined, even though Zergling speed has already been started here for our Zerg player, while the other Reaper gets to work on that hatchery with some reinforcing Marines from the main base. Eventually putting a timer on this, but you need to be careful as Clem. There is a Queen getting started here. Lings are in production. It actually seems like it might be a Baneling bust coming through here, Gemini, as the gas continues to be mined here by Lambo.
Yeah, as you mentioned, extra gas means either Baneling Nest, Roach Warren, or Lair. And based on all these things, it might be a bust.
These Marines with the Queen to help as well. Still no Baneling Nest being morphed, as it's just going to be more Lings coming in. Speed will be finished up.
The Queen is cornered, Lings as well. Massive pick up here at Clem.
The Queen will get cornered and killed off as well, as these reinforcing Lings should.
And Lambo's all in.
Get killed off eventually, but
see, I said in the chat, maybe we'll see a D-Gen rush next game. That's a deep cut, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
He didn't anticipate this being a 2-Rex opening from Clem. Clem just has so much more production than a Terran normally would in a situation like this one. It's quite rare to have. If you go for a 2-Rex opening, it's usually at the natural expansion. Zerg should be able to figure that out very quickly. Clem went for the double Rax opening in the main base, so Lambo didn't really realize this until he saw the second Reaper, and by then the die has already been cast. So this hatchery gonna get taken down. I think Baneling Nest was likely
what happens
to be
first?
the
Because does he get this round?
He's going for a surround. These are Speedlings, so they're gonna get on top of the Marines.
Nice
A
round.
lot of them should be picked off. There isn't a full
the positioning though.
for Clem.
The positioning.
Oh, the Reaper's even getting surrounded. Okay, Lambo
Oh my
catching a
god.
little bit of momentum.
He gets in.
Now.
He gets in. The boys are late. The boys had to be pulled earlier.
Right now, the Marines are still getting.
There's nothing to defend. He's doing it
a little bit. Didn't expect the fast speed with
Ace
so many
match.
extra Lings coming out, and now things are getting a bit crazy in the main base.
Oh, I say that Hellions are out. Okay, Hellions are out. They will zone this back. Clem is still in this game.
Will still be here, and the hatchery was never actually killed off, so that creep is still here, and there's still production as well at the front.
Yeah, those Lings might try and pounce in again because of the creep right now at the ramp. Clem cannot wall in. And look at this, Spine Crawlers once more getting morphed in here on Clem's side of the map. Lambo is doubling down. I really thought that after Clem was able to get the hatchery down to just a sliver of HP, after he stabilized on the low ground, this rush was over. But Lambo, with a big surround on the Reapers, on the Marines, has regained some momentum. Right now, he's hiding these Lings on the backside of this expansion. Now going for a surround once more. The Medics can lift this back up. Just be careful.
Please add a couple Marines.
Wait for those Spine Crawlers to finish.
Those Hellions are very threatening on that ramp. He doesn't want to overextend into that. You saw for just a moment, it looked like he might actually get.
And behind this, Lamb is droning. No shot. He's droning, but he's macroing out of this.
Hatchery trying to get sniped here from Clem. Will be able to actually finally kill this one off, so that's very nice. Can't go too deep, of course, because the Spine Crawlers and the Zerglings are still there. But Lambo able to get an Evo chamber on the back end here, trying to send a drone to the third base as well. So he will be transitioning from this. He's not going to be trying to bust this down any longer. Of course, he doesn't really have the means to do that anymore now that the army from Clem is
so who do we favor in this position? Bearing in mind that Clem does have a natural CC with mules, and he's about to land it. Behind this, Clem has a higher SCV count and mules as well, so he's had the stronger economy. He will break out of this, and even though Lambo was able to get into the mineral lane earlier, he didn't really do much economic damage. So Lambo's not actually as far ahead as the otherwise should be.
But luckily, with the armory done,
like Clem's looking good.
Those Hellions into Hellbats. Lings are going to connect
Hellbats
with
more
anyway
fin.
right now, looking for a surround.
Roast up all the Zerglings.
Wow. With the Medivacs lifting up the injured Hellbats, so not too many losses sustained.
And
here
again,
by
Clem, he's got the superior economy, he's got the better army as well.
Now let's take a
Lambo didn't do good enough. He didn't do enough damage.
Lambo sitting at 33 drones to the 36 SCVs of Clem. Clem, up until this point, hasn't really been able to saturate the natural expansion just because Lambo's been occupying it. So the mineral income hasn't been excellent here for Terran, but now that natural is actually online, I really like this position economically here for Clem.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. The double
Not even just economically, army-wise as well. Like, what can Lambo do? He has nothing. He has Ling Queen against Hellbats.
Also going to make it very
And a low Queen count at that.
On the map, so really no anti-air. A couple of Lings trying to find their way over on the other side, trying to get a
there's no
counterattack,
saving
but
the
again,
third.
Still so many
Oof.
things there for Clem.
Lambo was so close. He was so close.
Position now with a kill on this third base.
Catches the Queen.
Great, provided that these units can't get a last-second defense.
Seems like the hatchery will survive for now, but it's an expensive
nice trades out of
here for
Clem.
Lambo, who cannot afford to make any more drones. Instead, it has to be Lings. +1 melee attack will finish in just a moment, but there's only so much value to be gained by that versus all of these Hellbats.
Oh, the Queen interception.
Now 35 drones to 44 SCVs is the main story to follow. Lambo, he has to drone back up. But it's a dangerous position because he's basically caged Clem over the last couple of minutes, and Clem has been building a bigger and bigger army. And now Clem is unleashed on the map. Now he's going for these dropship plays. The third hatchery here of Lambo is a very obvious target with how low it is on HP. And Lambo simultaneously, he not only does he need to defend this, but by 4 medevacs. I thought this might be 2. It's 4 medevacs with siege tanks coming in. So the Hellbats are going to defend the natural expansion here.
Yeah, Hellbats said defend back at home. SCVs are going down. True.
Now what can defend the third?
Oh, the master
Lambo?
pair.
This is a strong force. It's even got a tank in the fray as well. Going to make it very difficult for the slow Baneling.
And despite 12 SCVs going down, Clem still has a superior economy.
Micro potential is going to be
Still
huge
better for
here
Clem.
And this is looking like it's going to be dire straits for Lambo right now.
Oh, the target firing.
GG. Clem will close this one out nice and easily with that defended proxy hatch yet again.
Yeah, man, Clem just a little bit too strong, able to win this series 3-1 over Lambo, and he's going to be advancing into the upper bracket final versus Hero. That should be a showstopper series. Yeah. Honestly, great performance there by Lambo. I feel like a lot of these games were very close, and the proxy hatch games were so unique. The way that Lambo played it, it's very different to the proxy hatches that we typically see in Korean ZBT. I would love to explore kind of the potential of those builds a little bit more here, and hopefully we get Lambo a couple more Terrans and RSLs in the future.
GG well played. Once again, we do see more committed variations amongst the Korean Zurich players, but that's typically done in other tournaments. State is a little bit limited just because he mainly only covers RSL and GSL. When it comes to online events, like we do see Solar, Shin, and Rogue mix in more aggressive variations of this. But I will say that regardless, really good series there out of Lambo. There's a world where he could have forced the ace match. Like again, Lambo, when he got into the main base, I thought that was it. I thought that was game. But the Hellions popped out. The Hellions, they popped out just in time, and then Clem held. On top of that, Hemi broke out, knocked down the hatchery, and trying to transition after a failed all-in is difficult there. Lambo, he was trying to drone up, trying to build up his third base, but he was just so far behind. Despite killing 12 SCVs, like he was still down in workers. Like he still had a worse economy. It was just brutal there for Lambo, and he did struggle against the eventual breakout of Clem. But he fought well. He fought well. GG well played. Did see a wide array of builds out of Lambo, and even saw him frustrate Clem from time to time, and not everyone can say that they've done that. So GG well played. And again, if you're a fan of Lambo, don't worry, because he's still in the tournament. He's still in the tournament, he's still competing, so you can see more of Lambo in the coming weeks in RSL. Bearing in mind that next week is going to be the final week of RSL to crown our champion. Likewise, we do have more GSL throughout the week as well. Let's quickly catch up with our schedule, actually. Un momento, there we go. So this is our weekly schedule. It is an intense week of StarCraft, not gonna lie. If you remember, this week was a little bit leaner for us, intentionally so, just because I did lose my voice at the beginning of the week. At this point, my voice, I think, for the most part, has recovered. So bam, we've got a full week of StarCraft ahead of us here. Tomorrow is going to be the OSC Rising Star broadcast alongside Universe Cup as a show match. We have Kung Fu Cup Tuesday morning. We have the Podcast, Pegasus Cups, last week's Pegasus Cup to catch up on that because you did miss it. GSL at the end of, GSL in the middle of the week. RSL at the end of the week. GSL in the mornings on Saturday and Sunday, and COVID Giants Cup on Friday as well. Now, this schedule is subject to change if my voice doesn't make it. As I mentioned, like my voice for the most part has recovered, but it's still not at 100%. So We'll take it easy, but we'll take it easy, and hopefully we're able to make it through and go back to our regular scheduled broadcasting. Oh, hold on. Guarding the players. Beautiful, beautiful. But here we go with that. So again, we have a full week of StarCraft ahead of us here. We have Friday evening off. That's going to be our half day off, if you will. But regardless, GG well played. And we'll see you guys next weekend for the finals of RSL. We'll see you guys in around 12 hours time with OSC Rising Star. That's going to be the OSC Rising Star day number 4, I believe, of our coverage. We'll see you soon. Also, I should mention as well that that Universe logo tomorrow evening in less than 24 hours, that is going to be a show match between Rogue and Zaun. Shout out to Universe. Universe, he recently did finish his military service. He's been hosting tournaments, or he wants to start hosting tournaments again on a monthly basis, and that is going to be a fun show match between Rogue and Zaun. Do tune in. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. If you want to support the RSL, you can do so via the command !RSL in the chat. RSL does have a Patreon, so you can help support the Revival StarCraft League. Likewise, GSL, they have their Patreon. We have our Patreon. Like, there's a lot of support, or there's a lot of ways to support StarCraft and support tournaments if you wish. Again, an intense week of StarCraft is ahead of us, and because of all the RSL and GSL this week, we don't have a Tunic Cup. We'll make up for it next week. We'll make up for it. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao, hasta luego. See you next time.